what we're talking about today is metabolic syndrome. We're gonna be talking about how the three of us, have stories of how we reversed our chronic disease. Becky and I have known each other for quite some time. I'm not going to say how long, but we've known each other for quite some time. And I was so excited for her, for her to share her story with us. So I'll let her share hers in a moment, but briefly about, for me, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic last year at this time. Within 6 months, I reversed my diabetes. I lowered my hypertension, was able to get off my high blood pressure medications, and I've just recently been able to reduce my thyroid medications. So that's me in a nutshell, and I've become metabolically flexible, and we'll talk more about what that means and what that looks like a little later. And so for right now, I'm going to hand this over to Becky, and so that she can share her story of where she has been and where she is going and where she's come, where she's going to and where she's come from.
It's been a long road, let me tell you. When I got my first pregnancy, I had gestational diabetes, and that was 28 years ago. So that's why I said in my comments, my 28-year story. So I was on insulin shots through the pregnancy. And my second pregnancy also had gestational diabetes, but nobody said anything in between. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. Woo! So I went on through my life, and I started putting on weight really quick. I wasn't changing my diet. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And that was in like 2011 end. And so I went in for shoulder surgery. And in pre-op, they come up and asked me if I was diabetic. I said, no, never been diagnosed anyway, but I've probably been living with it for a while. So a few months later, I went in for my hysterectomy, and the same thing. They came up to me and said, you diabetic? I said, well, I guess I must be, because this is twice in 3 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so wow. After that surgery, as soon as I could get to my doctor, I did. And he goes, well, you got hyperthyroidism. You have diabetes. You have high cholesterol. You have high blood pressure. You get blah, blah, blah. So right off the bat, not taking any pills, here they come. 5 just right off the bat. Had, the shot, Victoza, metformin, lisinopril, mainly for the kidneys, the protein. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do all this. So then later on, I got an EKG, and they saw like a little skip or something. So they put me on my toe ball on top of that. So then I started getting shaky a few years ago. I had my knee surgery, so they gave me gabapentin to help with that. Increased my metformin, and I was on all kind of stuff. Fasiga, how you say it, glimipride, something like that. GLIMEPIRIDE. So they added that for the diabetes. So that was like, I was on Trulicity. I was like 4 diabetes medicines plus all the other ones. So I showed that picture on Facebook. Some of those.
Holy cow.
God. I'm probably forgetting some. I was on Crestor for that high blood pressure. The high cholesterol.
Oh my gosh.
So I was.
Were you saying a glipside? Is that what it's called?
Glimipride. It's GLIME, I think. PIRIDE. So
Glimipride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just looked it up, and it's for type 2 diabetics, and that's the glipizide. It's one that is often paired with metformin, so it works better.
Right.
Yeah,
I had a lot of
name, but
pills
yeah.
that they said, oh, take this one, it'll help this one, and then do something with that one. And so I was like, before I knew it, I have a carry bag full of, plus my D3 was low. So my vitamins, my pills, I literally had a blue bag. Bonnie's seen that blue bag before, I think. So, I mean, I had to carry it with me.
Here.
There you go. I have all that, plus the injectable that insurance stopped paying for. So
And that is the bag of Becky's
yeah.
meds. That's the one she shared with
yeah,
us.
and then when I turned 50, they put me on the 81 milligrams of aspirin.
What for? Did they tell you?
Just because I turned 50 and it was good for my heart to make sure it didn't get clogged up. I guess because I also had...
Just because you turned 50.
Well, I also had high cholesterol. So. Okay, here. What age are you? Here's the pill. But
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a rite of passage, apparently.
I didn't get that one. I missed that one when I turned 50.
Yeah.
They gave me other crap, but geez,
Yep,
so many medications, Becky, that you were taking. You went from 0 to how many in less than, a day?
Well,
basically.
Yeah, in a day it was 3 for the diabetes, 1 for the high cholesterol. So right off the bat, and then after my knee surgery, they added meloxicam for the inflammation. So by the time it was all said and done, so last year, insurance says, well, we're not going to pay for Trulicity anymore. I'm like, okay, then what am I supposed to do? Well, then they started adding pills. That's when the Glimepiride came in and the Forxiga and all that. So I started gaining weight again after I spent 16, 18 months on Nutrisystem to only lose like 25 pounds maybe. And that took 16, 18 months. I started September 8th on the Feel Great program.
Mm-hmm.
September 8th to Thanksgiving. I had lost about 30 pounds. And so that was like 2.5 months, I guess. What? October, November, yeah. 2.5 months, I lost the same that it took me 16 months on Nutrisystem.
So you were lose the same weight.
Yeah.
But then after you got off Nutrisystem, I think we all know that answer. But
I gained weight when they took me off Trulicity. So of course, all those GLP-1s, it's great when you're taking it. Your body becomes reliant on it, and then as soon as you stop, you gain all the weight back plus some. So I'm not sure what I weigh now because I can't carry a scale in here. Have nowhere flat to set it.
I don't weigh myself either. I don't like the scale, and I do small. Look at other things, other ways. Non-scale calories, man.
Oh my God, that was July 28th. I started September 8th, and by Thanksgiving, that's when I was standing up right there. That's the difference in just that short time.
So 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. We'll say 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's awesome.
So, and then all the pills started coming off, you know.
Right.
I'm on the
if y'all are just tuning in, I'm going to put that one back up too.
Yeah. So I'm still on the metoprolol and the thyroid, of course, because the metoprolol's got to be weaned down. You can't just stop it.
Right.
And of course, the thyroid. Wednesday, I go get my next blood test. So we'll see where my thyroid is, and if it's too low, then he'll change and wean me off of that. So I take the D3 still.
Becky, you don't even look like the same person anymore. I mean, it's like
Thanks.
half of you. It's like half of you is gone.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I feel great. I went back into my size 26 jeans, the waist.
Yeah.
That's the waist size. 26. I'm back. I'm sorry.
I thought I
I'm
was
sorry.
doing good. I got down to
36.
30.
I'm sorry. Not 26, 36. And I'm back fitting into my 32s again. And I wore a 34 the other day and had sweatpants underneath them, and they were still comfortable.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel great.
I'm sure.
You know, I'm on the high spectrum of my glucose right now, my meter. So
Sure.
I still have to watch very carefully what I eat, but I'm not taking the metformin anymore or anything. So it's just the metoprolol and the thyroid.
I'd be interested to really see, what your blood test brings. That's going to be amazing. I think you're going to get some wow.
Me too.
From your
well, yeah, as y'all know, it takes 90 days. For those who don't know, it takes 90 days to change a cell. So if you go before that 90 days to get a blood test, most likely your numbers are going to be, for the A1C anyhow, it's going to be the same. The glucose might drop a little, but you have to wait to that 90 days. Because I did that when I first started. I went 2 months and I was like, oh my God, it's still the same. But my glucose dropped from 214 to 122 in that short time. Yes.
You're kidding me.
No, 214 to 122 is my blood test.
Holy cow.
That I went early for. I went like 2 months or something.
Sure.
So in just that 2 months, dropped all that.
What did they say? Did they say anything about it?
No, they like, just keep doing the good job, whatever you're doing. So.
Well, I think they're going to be pretty surprised when your blood results come back.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all my new numbers.
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to just say, so this is her results are incredible, and what she's accomplished is something that we hear about, we see some other people, many others experience. However, that's only part of Becky's story, and I know she's holding back because her lifestyle is she's on the go 24/7. She is always moving. In fact, she's pulled over right now to share her story with us. I'd like her to share a little bit more about how she's able to do this.
Traveling.
Yeah.
Just that's my life. I'm a truck driver, as you can tell. There's a truck behind me in the picture. We're in a rest area right now, but on the go, it doesn't matter. It's so convenient, so easy. It's just, it took more to do the Nutrisystem because I had to stop every time, open that little plastic bag and throw my crap in the microwave. Literally, it's crap. I mean,
right.
You have to just suck it up and eat it. No, hardly any flavor, and I don't like a lot of peppers. They put green peppers, red peppers, all that in there. So I'm sitting there picking all that stuff out. Might call me anal, but yeah, I admit it. I am. When I don't like something, it's not going to be in my food.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then they had me eating all day long. So I was telling you this the other day, Lauren. I literally, for my snack, every 2 to 3 hours you were eating. For my snack, I had to count out 9 peanuts. That was the serving. What kind of snack is that? 9 peanuts. You can throw those in your mouth at one time and swallow, and you're done.
That's a snack for a squirrel. That's not even a snack for a person.
Exactly.
I did Weight Watchers for 15,000 times. It was, I'm not knocking those systems, and they work well for some people. It didn't work for me. Like you were saying, 9 peanuts. What kind of snack is that? It just leaves you hungrier, especially if you are eating every 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, and it just makes you want to eat more, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed, I was like, fasting for how long? I'm a foodie. I want to eat, and I'm driving all the time, and there's snacks right there. I've got all kind of fruit and nuts, and, I got this rewards card when we go on fuel.
Right.
So every time we fuel per gallon, I get so many points. Well, anytime I had, reward points on that card, I go in, chips, candy, whatever. I'm a dark chocolate-aholic. So anytime I get that, it was right here. And I was driving, and I was bored, or to stay awake, just ow, 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 hand to mouth. So I would constantly go through my reward points.
I bet.
Well, once I started this, I went up to over $100 in reward points. I went to, there was an Arby's in there one time, so I got a roast beef sandwich. I always peel off half the bun. And I got, well, it was a slider. And I got a ranch chicken wrap, whatever. So this lady behind me, I'm thinking I got 150 reward points. This lady's coming out with this 20 in her hand. So I stood there, and I think she was kind of wondering why I was just standing there next to her behind her while she was ordering. So as soon as, because I waved my card at the cashier, and the cashier went like that, and I scanned my points, and I walked off. I said, it's paid for, ma'am. So, and
wow,
she's like,
that's awesome.
She was just dropped the jaw like, what just happened? And then she came over.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't use them anymore. I buy gallons of water, or every blue moon I might get a flatbread from Subway, a 6-inch with the egg and ham or whatever on it. But I'm not going to use them. Why not share them? I didn't pay for them.
Sure. A really good point. I mean, so you're not eating the stuff you used to eat, and the food that you are eating is more nutritious for your body, and your body knows what to do with it. And so when it processes it differently, it sees it, it utilizes, it's more utilizes it, it's more bioavailable, it knows exactly what to do. And I know, Ken, we talk about it all the time. Our meals have gotten simpler. We're not buying all that stuff, that we used to buy. We always like a snack after dinner, and I'm a chocoholic too, Becky, so I get it. And now we're just not buying all that crap.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point you brought up. A lot of people are saying, oh, the cost of it and blah, blah, blah. Look at the reward points alone that I saved by not buying all that stuff. Over $100.
That's a great example.
And if you go on our link, discount, it's $159. I saved that amount in the rewards. I send the code to my daughter when she's traveling, and she stops and, gets what she wants. So, by the time you buy all that, or you buy, just regular groceries, because you don't want as much anymore. I used to snack all the time, and I just look at it and go, I don't want that. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. And when I'm feeling hungry or something, I take a couple gulps, and it's gone.
Becky, I wanted to ask you. So, we showed the picture, and that's one of the things that and that's what almost every. And I always hate to use the term diet program. It talks. They show pictures before and after. Here's what is the case, and that's really not what we're even talking about here. It is a lifestyle choice, and that's really what you're saying. It's changed how you live, not so much just how you eat, but how you live. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? So the weight, it certainly feels much better. It allows some mobility, but how are you feeling? I mean, helping people understand, if you haven't been on that kind of medication treatment, what is your quality of life as you think about being on the protocol and the fasting, the fiber? What is the change for you? How is your quality of life different?
Well, I'm going to get a little personal, man. If I crapped in 3 to 5 days, I was doing good.
Wow.
My poop, I go every day or every day and a half now, and it's not hard, it's not soft, it's pretty much consistent on where it's supposed to be. I mean, I used to get stomach cramps because I couldn't poop because I'm not a big water drinker.
Right.
But now I'm getting my water.
Yeah, you are.
But the fiber is helping my stomach. I used to be on Nexium too. I forgot that one.
Yes.
I used to
Yep,
take
been on
Nexium
that.
every day. I don't do it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to get that burning gurgling up into my throat. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, that noise, that acid reflux,
Oh yeah.
that feeling of a
Well,
hot burp. Yeah.
just want to throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would wake me up in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Lauren will
yeah.
tell you. I mean, it was like, and then I'd be up for like 2 or 3 hours waiting for it to calm down.
Yeah.
And, it's miserable.
It is. And I used to get up sometimes, 40 milligrams, the prescription strength was once a day. Sometimes I'd take it.
Yep.
I'd take 2 in a few hours just to help it calm down. But
Yeah.
I haven't taken, I got some Nexium if anybody wants some.
You actually point there, Becky. The Nexium part. It made me think when we talk about this as, and what the cost versus the, what we think. People often don't think of the over-the-counter medications that there's no more Tums for that acid reflux or that regurgitation or that feeling that you were talking about. There's no more ibuprofen. There's no more Tylenol. There's no more,
Exactly.
none of those things add up. We don't realize that. There's Nexium too, omeprazole, all those things that we factor in addition to the medications that were prescribed for us that really weren't working anyway.
Yeah. And now what? HSA is paying for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
HSA.
So,
yes.
between the cost of meds and all the extra food you're buying that your body doesn't need, only your taste buds want it. Your body don't want it. Your taste buds. So all that adds up, and it's more than the cost of a monthly subscription. And I'm actually saving money. This past paycheck, I was like, where'd all this money come from? I've actually got some left over.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you constantly got to replace all that stuff. I'm lucky that the VA pays for most of it, but when I was on Trulicity, they don't pay for that. I was paying $800 to $900 a month for my Trulicity because insurance we only going to pay this much. And then they quit paying for it at all.
Did they give you the reason why they stopped paying for it?
It's too expensive.
It's too expensive for you, what your insurance is paying, but they think you can just handle that.
Right. Let's run up the credit cards every month or something. But, people will go, not even need a prescription or anything, and get these GLP-1s for weight loss, And I've seen people, I'm taking this for weight loss, blah, 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 $375 a month, whatever, because they want to lose weight. Somebody will pay for that. But as soon as they're off, they lose the weight that they want, bam, it goes right back on plus more.
Right.
I've seen it happen.
And Ken, you have an interesting part of your story that we basically both just kind of found out about with your eyesight and stuff. And
yes,
right. And I bet Becky knows about this too. She's probably got friends that have had ischemic optic neuropathy.
No, but my vision has gotten better.
That's awesome.
Oh,
they
awesome.
They lessened my prescription strength.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I haven't heard that one. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Yeah, when I had the ischemic optic neuropathy and first got that diagnosis, one of the things they said that it's most common in truck drivers and pilots because of the UV and the sunlight that y'all get all the time, that it causes the optic nerves to constrict or causes blockage. But ultimately, what it is that we found out in studying this was that it's a stroke in the optic nerve, and I've been hypertensive for almost 20 years. So when this happened for me back in 2014, and my eyes got blurry, I lost part of my my vision, peripheral vision, my lower half of my vision, and then off to the side. And then a year later, I lost it again, and I went to a neuro-ophthalmologist. So, the specialty there is realized, and people need to understand, it's a neurologist and an ophthalmologist. So you're going to see somebody with 2 degrees in medical degrees in specialty. I can't imagine going to school that long, and what they had to go through. But these are people, we talk about, and I know they're great. They're people. They never said that was what it was, and they never put together the fact that I had a heart condition that led to what happened. And they were basically, well, there's really nothing we can do about it. We put you on steroids, and that made me feel like crap, and that's only temporary. It didn't fix the problem. But why would it? Because it's a stroke. I mean, it had really nothing to do with anything that steroids were going to help with. It had everything to do with my blood pressure and what was going on. So, and for me, it was out of control. I mean, that was when I got diagnosed with diabetes a year ago. The doctor said in 6 months, come back, and if you haven't lost the weight, and that was always the thing, is just they just equated with the weight loss, but it's so much more than that. But it was, if you don't get that under control, we're going to put you on more medication. We're going to have to get you on some, lower your blood pressure, and we'll have to put you on medication. Metoprolol is not going to be enough anymore because you've been on that for a long time, and it's just keeping going. So there was no help there. And it was like that. I can't do that. And then I saw what Dr. G was doing, and I'm going, what the heck? Okay. And I'm watching it, and, I was trying to do, calorie restriction, and I was working out, and I started intermittent fasting, and that helped a little bit, but ultimately it was like it's not getting where it needs to be. And I was sick one day in April, and she came over with this lemon ginger tea, and she said, here, drink this. And I'm like, well, my throat hurts. I feel like crap. I was like, what is it? She says, lemon ginger tea, drink it. It'll make your throat feel better. That's how she put it to me. And I was like, okay, fine. So within just a couple hours, I had all this energy, and it was like, okay, well, I'm not well, but man, I feel a heck of a lot better. And I had seen the changes in her, and I said, okay. And so May 1st, I started on it, and kind of like you, within, almost, blood pressure started going down. Nexium, I was on that as well. It changed everything as far as that goes. And within 4 months, I lost about 10 pounds a month. But that's not for everybody. Like I said, I really didn't necessarily care about the weight loss. I wanted diabetes under control. I wanted to get off blood pressure medication. I'm a testicular cancer survivor. I've been stuck. That's the other thing. Here's one thing I'm amazed of is all the people that are eager to give themselves shots. I have had enough shots in my life. Please don't stick me with anything else. I've hurt myself enough times in my life. The last thing I want to do is become a human pincushion that I'm doing it for myself. No, I just couldn't. I just can't even imagine.
Becky, what was first things that you noticed? Ken said it was, he immediately got more energy. What was one?
Oh yeah. I like to mostly drive at night because, less idiots out here. But that early morning, that Z-Mon still rides you back hard.
Sure.
And I found, I just drink my bottle all night long, and I'm just trucking along, and I'm watching my hours, and I'm like, damn, I gotta stop in an hour. I want to just keep on going, but the law says I have to stop.
It wasn't always like that. When we were kids, though, truckers could go forever.
Oh, yeah. When I first started, we just, you want to drive a whole day? Go ahead. But,
Wow.
yeah, also, we have to have DOT physicals. And as a diabetic, I have to get it every year.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've almost gotten flunked because of my blood pressure.
Wow.
They had to sit me down and wait and take it again and then lay me down and say, you got to just relax. I said, if I get any more relaxed, I'm falling asleep right here. So they would take it, and it was like, and they're like, okay, well, we're just going to pass you, but you need to, maybe check with your doctor about blood pressure medicine or something. And I was already taking the 5 milligrams of lisinopril for my kidneys for the protein.
Right.
So, and the metoprolol. So I think that's 25 milligrams. But so in December, I was due for another DOT physical. And I sat down, and I didn't even have time to get settled in my chair. She had that thing on my arm, that cuff, and she's pumped, and she's taking my blood pressure. I'm like, wait, I gotta relax. 127/72. I am not kidding you. It was 148/95 before.
Wow.
And just in this short time, and I'm sitting there worrying about what's going to pop up. I'm trying to breathe like that to relax. I wasn't relaxed at all.
And you were,
I mean,
you were in a rush state too. It sounds like they rushed you in and got you there. And usually that elevates your blood pressure too. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. So, you're trying to finish up all those forms, and they're calling you in, do this, and I'm still trying to write. And she's like, sit down here and get on the scale and do this and that. I'm like, I'm not relaxed. You got to let me breathe and all that. And she, boop, 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 127/72. So, yeah. I was like, what?
I bet. That's awesome.
I was like, yes. So
we all have wonderful stories. Ken, do you have any other part of your story you want to share? Some other parts?
Everything, it sounds like Becky and I kind of have we were on some of the same stuff. She's definitely farther along with some of that than I was, for sure. And so, I think it's always just kind of going back when I hear stories like what Becky's sharing, it just relates to this idea again. And I kind of go to, looking at the pictures, which are awesome. And we've had those experiences, and sometimes people get on and start to look at this, and there is the weight loss is kind of secondary. And if you're on the protocol, it's just what makes it so much easier to have those things happen by doing what we talk about, though, and we talked about this yesterday when Lauren and I did a call, was how important learning, because that's what this really does, that fasting, that we don't need to eat all day like we have been told, which is old science. I get why it was said before, and the hypothesis and the way science works is that it learns. Science is supposed to, and it gets challenged. And we've learned we don't need to do that. Dr. Jason Fung and so many others. One of my favorite books that had helped me was this one right here, The Guide to Fasting, that Jason Fung helped to write. Along with Jimmy Moore, but then it was the fiber. We talked about a little bit about that, and then it's also the order in which we eat, and that's why the fiber is so helpful. And I think that's the piece that, if I were to say there's something to add, is understanding nutrition, which we really none of us got. Dr. G, she's talked about that very thing. As a doctor, she didn't get it. I sure didn't get it. I mean, I got the food pyramid. Becky, I'm sure you probably did too.
Yeah.
And my plate, and that's what we kept getting, told. And it was learning and realizing what we really needed to be doing, and that what we have is a dietary disease, and none of this is going to help with a dietary disease. And I think that's the biggest thing. And you sharing your quality of life, our quality of life, has completely changed. I think that's the most awesome part about it. It's not about the weight loss. It's about all that other stuff inside that, man, it's all messed up.
Exactly. That's, I didn't start this for the weight loss. It was for my diabetes and all the medicine I was on, because I kept telling my doctor, stop giving me more prescriptions. I want to get off this stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He says, well, you'll just be on it for the rest of your life, and, that's it. But
a sad thing when you think about that.
I mean, I started this from May. It took me from May, June, July, August, at least 3 months, once I got new insurance at the new job, constantly calling somebody. I've been asking VA. VA doesn't pay for injectables like Trulicity or Victoza or anything like that. So I got insurance through my company as soon as I could. It's starting to snow again.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm watching this guy make sure he doesn't hit my truck. He's pulling out.
Where are you at the moment?
I'm between Chattanooga and Knoxville on 75. So
wow.
I lost my train of thought now. So
you were talking about how the VA does not pay injectables.
So that was the insurance that last year they paid for it for a few months and then didn't pay for it anymore. And then when I came here, okay. So then they said, we need your glucose. We need a reading of over 200. I said, oh, no problem. So I went and took a blood test, and my doctor was supposed to fax it to them. Well, my doctor was faxing it to TRICARE, and I thought they were faxing it to the insurance company. So I was making so many calls between the doctor and my insurance, and then finally I get a letter after 3 months from TRICARE saying it was approved for 5 years. I'm like, how'd TRICARE get into this? So I thought my insurance company was lying that they never received anything from my doctor's office.
Oh, wow.
So then 1 month of the Maggiorno, CVS texts me and says insurance isn't approved. I'm like, now what? So I called TRICARE. TRICARE says, oh, we realize you don't have TRICARE, you have TriWest because you're a disabled vet. So I had to call TriWest. They say, no, VA does this. I said, I already talked to VA several times in the past. So I'm like, you know what? It was a circle. Nobody wanted to take it on. So my friend Bonnie, who's watching or was, I don't know if she got bored. She
Here.
I texted her. I said, hey, did Lauren send you that link? She's talking about some drink or whatever. And she goes, yeah, I'll send it to you. So I clicked on it. I ordered it. And Lauren asked me just a couple of days ago. She goes, I didn't even know you had the link or whatever you said. And she goes, you just clicked on it and went for it. I said, I was at wit's end. I was taking so many pills, and the weight I can lose. I've done it, yo-yo up and down. I could do that. I wanted to get off all those freaking meds. So I said, this is my last resort. My A1C was 10, y'all. It was 10.
What's it?
And it was raising. I don't know. I'll find out Wednesday or when. Yeah, this will be my 90 day.
Wait to hear that.
Yeah,
this will be my 90 day. What's that?
Hear those results. I can't wait to hear your results. I'm so excited for you.
I can't wait to see him too.
And you brought up, what is this stuff? What are we talking about? And I'm gonna have Ken explain the first part of it, and I'll explain the second part of it. And how do we use it? And you can actually, in the life of a truck driver, Becky, you can share how you do it.
Yeah.
How we all do it differently, but how easy this is, or how how you have been able to incorporate this into your lifestyle.
Yeah.
When I wake up, I make coffee and I make my Unimate.
There you go.
And when I'm done with my coffee, or when I'm talking a lot, my throat's getting raw, I drink that for the water. But when I stop for my 30-minute break, I make another bottle and I keep on going.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
It's that
awesome.
simple, guys.
And when I stop for the night, I eat a lot of eggs mixed with like spinach, cheese, tomatoes, something like that. But I got up to 4 eggs at a time to satisfy me. Now I'll have 1 or 2, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to talk a little bit, she showed the packs. Becky did. So we always talk about it as 1, 2, 3, because that's really what it is for the day that we do. So the first thing is the Unimate, and when we talk about it, all of these are incredible. This is actually over 30 years old and was originally, if you're familiar with the old Rexall pharmacy, they were an old-time pharmacy in the fact that they actually worked on putting together the different nutrients and things together to experiment. They were one that did that. And they saw what was happening back in the 70s with suddenly blood pressure was rising, that fiber had been taken out of food. So that's part of the system too. Dr. G is going to talk about that. But one of the aspects of it was discovering the impact of the yerba mate plant. And that's what we call Unimate. And it's based off of yerba mate. That's where we get it. It's some of the best yerba mate in the world. And the folks in Brazil and Argentina have been drinking this for centuries. They don't worry with coffee. They're drinking yerba mate. Well, we don't have access to the beans and the plants. You can get them. It's hard. It's difficult. But what the Unicity company did is they've taken that and they've created a concentrated tea that's just in these packets. That's a heck of a lot. I've never had the regular stuff, but there's not any sugar added to it. So this is all natural. And they've created this so that all you got to do is open one of the packets and pour it in a water bottle. I didn't see, Becky, do you have your diamond bottle there? Do you use one of those? I use a regular bottle. You got
I just got the original.
Yep, that's the diamond bottle. We've got them too.
Oh, okay.
And it's got the measurements on the side, so you just fill it up with enough water to put that together. And every day I get up and I will drink before I work out. I will open one of these packets. I will pour it in. I will shake that up, and I will work out. And during my workout, that first 30, 45 minutes of the day, I'm going to down that whole thing. That is got full of energy. I get on the bike. Lauren will tell you she can hear me just tearing the bike apart because I had so much energy that I'm doing it. It's full of chlorogenic acid and so many other great minerals, vitamins and stuff in there. But that chlorogenic acid, the amazing part about that is this is at the root of it is everything that those GLP-1 shiny things are about. Only this is all natural. GLP-1 is a glucagon-like peptide. Your body makes it. It is made in your body. This tells your body, make more. It's not fake. It just tells your body, hey, get some more of that good stuff. And what GLP-1 is going to do is it's going to be telling your body, your gut's going to be telling your brain, hey, you don't need to eat anymore. You've had plenty. You're good. Just keep going. So it extends that fast. And people say, well, do you eat breakfast? Yeah, I do. I eat breakfast. I break my fast at about 12 or 1 o'clock during the day. Lunch is what I typically call it. I don't even have that other one anymore. That was Kellogg's coming up with a way to sell more Corn Flakes and Frosted Flakes. I don't need any of that junk. I loved that junk. My stomach didn't love that junk. So I break my fast, and then I'm sipping on that second one the rest of the day. After I drink the first one, that second one, I sip on it all day long. And if it starts to get down low, you know what I'll do? I'll just put more water in the bottle, and I'll just keep sipping. And then as the day goes on, I don't have the cravings anymore. I just keep going. I have the energy. I don't ever feel a need to take a nap. It doesn't there. My mind is sharper than it's been in a long time. And it's just incredible. There's so much that's in this. I had no idea. I always tell the story. I have a coworker that's from Brazil. When I first came in and I started the system, she was like, "What are you drinking?" I said, "Well, I don't know if you're familiar with it. I didn't know the story behind this." And I said, it's an yerba mate extract called Unimate. And before I could even finish, she was like, "Oh, that is a drink of the gods. We drink that in Brazil all the time. I grew up drinking yerba mate. I still drink it." So I learned real quick. There's a lot to this that people don't know about. And so that's part 1 and 2 of the system. But I want Lauren to share a little bit more about number 3 on the system, because this doesn't get enough credit for what it does to our bodies.
Yeah.
Well, it also helps the inflammation.
Yep.
Absolutely.
From my knee surgery, it used to be like this. Now it's like this. And, you know, I've had whiplash several times.
Oh,
my neck used to
I'm
hurt all the
sure.
time. The inflammation's gone in my neck. It doesn't hurt me like it used to. And
Yeah,
it's
she
crazy.
showed her knee the other
Wow.
day. We were on the phone, and just amazing how the inflammation is gone. That was actually one of the first things that I noticed. My inflammation is gone. I had fibromyalgia as well. I was diagnosed with that too, and that was all. You know, I lived in pain. I was the one that had the ibuprofen Tylenol,
Yeah.
if not multiple times a day. I'm surprised my kidneys and liver did not fail me. I'm lucky.
Well, and one of the things too, and I'm sure this helps too, as far as truck driving for me, I also, and I didn't talk about it, we talk about inflammation as well with this. It's also helps with anti-anxiety, which I've been on depression and anti-anxiety medication. I'm off that. But I also had migraines. And one of the things I learned was that I had a magnesium deficiency, and I supplement with magnesium, but there is magnesium as well in here. So I don't have to supplement with as much magnesium as I used to because of the magnesium that's in this that keeps me going throughout the day. So, you know, there's a lot to this amazing drink.
You know, Ken brings up a really good point about supplements, and there's nothing wrong with supplements. We have supplements up here. D3 is a main one because we don't have a lot of sun 9 months out of the year here in Alaska. So D3 is a supplement. Magnesium is a supplement. Supplements are great. What these are, and I'm going to talk about this one in specific here. This is our balance. These products are nutraceuticals. And what they are is they are derived from food. And then they have health benefits that can help, you know, prevent disease, improve chronic disease. They can even have, you know, supplements in them. A nutraceutical is that, where it can be, you know, with a supplement, but also it does so much more than that. It, you know, it helps to delay the aging process, things like that. So Ken brings up a good point. While supplements are good, and I take magnesium, I take D3, there's nothing wrong with that, but this also enhances those supplements. So what this balance is, it is a fiber matrix. It's actually soluble and insoluble fibers. It's a blend. And this is actually your natural statin. So what it does, and it also is a natural probiotic. So we take it, we like to say, take it before your carbohydrate, your most high carbo, you know, the one that has the most carbohydrates. You can take it before lunch, you can take it before dinner, but the meal that has the most carbohydrates in it, you drink this right before. And what it does is it coats your esophagus, it goes down into your stomach, coats your stomach, and it allows your body to know what to do with the food. It allows the food to become more bioavailable. It allows your body to process it and your digestion to keep, you know, to work a lot better and more efficiently. It keeps that acid reflux from occurring. So we don't have all that going on. It helps to process all that food. It helps to keep the biggest thing too is it helps to keep your blood glucose levels from rising. And by doing that, we keep insulin low. So when insulin is low, the fat will go, if for those who are interested in having that secondary effect of weight loss. But more importantly, when your insulin levels are low and kept in check, you are no longer insulin resistant. And this is the root cause of everything that we've been talking about here. Insulin resistance causes chronic inflammation, disease, all those things, metabolic syndrome, if you will. And with metabolic syndrome, you go into all these chronic systemic diseases that are often dietary.
Lauren, yeah, I want to mention too, you mentioned nutraceuticals, so I want to show everybody something. So this is the PDR.net. This is what Lauren and all of the folks in the medical profession are going to look at to look up medications that they're going to give you. They're going to be looking to see what they do to make sure that they also don't have the contradictions with medications. This is where I'm at. I'm going to enter in here something for you guys. You're seeing it right now. I'm not changing anything. It's going to be right here. I want to put this in here real quick.
So while you're doing that, in addition to what this fiber matrix does as far as keeping your glucose levels low after you're eating, it helps with metabolism by having, it's a natural form of B12. It has a natural antacid in it, naturally formed calcium carbonate. So this helps overall for healthy weight management, help processing and digesting your food better. And a lot of people say, well, what's the, what about Metamucil? Well, Metamucil's fine. It is a fiber. You take it to help you go, basically. I mean, that's what it does. It helps with all that. But with this fiber, you are getting where it coats your entire system. It allows your digestion to be facilitated, and it helps your body know what to do with your food. Okay, Ken, it's coming back. It's coming backwards to me. It's just the way that things are set up.
Right. Yeah. No, but I can pull it back a little bit. Yeah, but it's just, you can sit there and see unicity balance. Oh, this is what we're talking about, and this is in the PDR. Yeah. I can't. Okay. I'm not sure if I can. Let me see. Maybe I can reverse it. Let's see if it'll do it. Can you see it? No. Still not doing it.
Still reversed.
So, but yeah, so this is what the doctors, and this is, if you'll look at it, this is the prescribing information.
Yes.
Your doctors, while your insurance company may not accept it, which is why it's great that HSA and FSA are able to do this now, this is for prescribing. Your doctor can tell you that you need to go on this. This is an option in the PDR. I didn't put it anywhere else. That's still the page. It's the PDR.
I believe it's actually the only fiber matrix in there. I don't believe Metamucil is in there.
I don't think, but nothing that is a natural statin. There's no option. That's it.
But I know that this is. I'm not so sure. I'm going to have to look that up, actually, just to see. But that's what we're talking about. And then when you combine it with fasting, and I know Ken talked about a book with fasting. This is my, we all have our favorites. This is by Mindy Pelz. And you can see, I've been, reading and researching and marking things. She's one of my favorites, and it's an easy read. She tells it like it is. I mean, she gives the facts, and it's very, very informative. That's one of my favorite reads. I have some other books too, but with fasting, and I used to fast, but I was not very pleasant when I did it. This system.
This is Metamucil. I just looked it up.
Is it?
I looked up Metamucil.
So it is.
It's not in there.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. All drugs, it says reset. It won't. It doesn't come up.
Okay.
It does not come up.
Alrighty.
No results.
Well, that's another thing I want to ask. The question is, why do people question and doubt this system when a doctor gives them a prescription or another prescription, another? They don't question it at all. They just go get it filled and start popping all these pills. And that's man-made stuff, and this is all natural.
I think, I don't know. I don't have an easy answer for that.
No.
I don't know if it's the trust that we put in our FDA. I don't know if it's the trust that we put into big pharma. I don't know if it's the trust that we put into, doctors. I mean, we don't, and that's what it is. I don't think people are, this is intentional. I think people are not going to their doctor thinking that they're going to be harmed. I think they know, like, and trust them, and they would certainly never harm them. And not that I'm not saying doctors are harming people. I'm just saying that I think what we need to do is think of other ways. And I like, and I don't know if this answers that question, but I think there are other ways to treat things. I saw it in my dental practice. It's exactly how you described it, Becky. One pill led to, now, you basically went from 0 to 50, in a second.
Exactly, Bonnie.
And you were adding things as you went along. And I think it boils down to trust. I know that probably doesn't answer the question, but I think it boils down to trust ultimately.
Yeah, Bonnie made a good comment there that we were raised to trust our doctors.
Right.
That is true. And that is true. And in this last year, my eyes were widely open. I began listening to patients about, I listened to my patients, but I also listened to alternative treatments. I started doing that, maybe within the last 5 to 10 years, and listening to what they've done to help them with their issues. So they're finding a solution to their problems. And it was only when 2020, we all know what happened then. When that happened, we were helpless. We all needed to turn to something. And I saw a lot of things happen in my chair, meaning the disease that came forward and how things were rapidly just changing. I started paying attention. I started listening to patients and hearing their stories and realizing how sick people were. They were getting sicker and sicker. They weren't. And so I think it boils down to trust. I guess that would be my answer for your question. Otherwise,
I would put out another thing, and that this is from personal experience. We talked about what we grew up with. We also grew up with a phrase I don't hear anymore. I have not heard it in probably the last 20 years, but I grew up with it. When you go to the doctor, you get a second opinion.
Oh.
I don't hear that anymore. And when I went for my cancer, the doctor said to me, we were taught in medical school, don't let the sun go down on the testicular mass. And I told him, pardon my French, like hell, you're going to cut out my testicle without a second opinion. That's not, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. And I think this is very much the same way, because I talk to doctors, not mentioning who my primary care physician was, but my primary care physician was not in agreement regarding COVID. She was not in agreement. She told me as such and was very careful about what she said to me. She's very careful in her words and how she spoke to me about her opinion. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. And as Dr. G has said, Dr. G we've talked about this. As a pastor, I'm a United Methodist pastor. There's a lot of different denominations. Why? Because we don't agree. And people ask, why don't you all agree? Well, because people have different opinions. I asked Dr. G about this question as well. And as she has said, and as we look at it, there is not consensus when it comes to science. We have been told the science has consensus. That is not the case. Dr. G can look at how somebody's mouth is and make one decision. They can go to another dentist and get another opinion that differs. There is not consensus, and we have been told, oh, there's just consensus. You should just go along, and that's just bull.
Yeah.
There's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
thank you for.
I know I'm getting a little emotional there, but
that though. Well, we are coming up right on an hour, actually.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your story.
Yes, thank you so much.
Service. I don't think I've ever thanked you for that. Thank you for your service.
No, you're welcome.
Very much.
And thank you for continuing to serve, because driving trucks keeps our country going.
Look, this is my exercise.
And thank you, Ken, for being a part of this too. Thank you for being
absolutely
able to do this today.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Oh,
yes.
Of course. And everybody who's on here, if you all want any further, information, contact Becky, Ken, or I, whoever invited you to this call. Just make sure that you get with one of us, and we can happily answer any questions, and go moving forward. Text us, Facebook Messenger us. We are on the Healthy Together page. All of us are. Just let us know if you have any questions and stuff. And thanks for joining us on this wonderful Sunday evening.
Thanks. Time to
All
get
right.
back on the road.
All right.
Yeah, be safe out there.
All right.
Okie dokie. Y'all take care.